of the bills that the U.S. House and Senate got together and finally passed was the Farm Bill. It had been going back and forth, but just weeks ago it was passed and signed into law by the president. And joining us tonight to talk about the Farm Bill are two members of Congress. To take your kid out of the public school system and put them into a private school system, this voucher would allow you, especially if you couldn't afford it, to go and put your kid in another school system.
Okay, so they make perfect sense here. How does this ruling affect us here in Florida?
Well, the interesting thing is the Supreme Court is saying that usually there was like a divide as to who could get the vouchers. You had to be of a certain income level to get the vouchers. And the Supreme Court of Indiana said, well, you know what? You're paying into the tax base. Anybody should be able to get these vouchers and use them. So they upped the threshold to about $62,000 for a family, which means more people could get to use the vouchers. So you got people on both sides of the program. You got teachers unions who are saying, hey, schools are broken. We're trying to fix it. How can you fix a broken school by taking away money? But you have groups on the other side who are saying, well, if my kids aren't being educated in the school system, then give me the opportunity to go and get them educated somewhere else.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if anything happens here in Florida.
It is, and that's something that the Republican Party has been a proponent of. Governor Jeb Bush is one of the ones who had been pushing it when he was governor in Florida to have vouchers available. And so the Republican Party have been a huge part of making vouchers move forward. So we're going to be looking to see if the legislature does anything based on what Indiana did.
Very interesting discussion here. And of course, for more on this, you can tune in to Bounce News at 7 with Rahman Johnson. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mika. Right now, North Korean state media says that Pyongyang has ordered missiles at the ready to strike both South Korea and the United States. I'm Rahman Johnson. This is Bounce TV News at 7. Thanks so much for being here. Now, North Korea's leader is stepping up his threats of war with the United States, and he's backing up his talk. Chris Lawrence with CNN has the latest. Whether you liked them or not, the Dream Defenders were one group that during 2013 found an old approach to getting their voices heard. For 31 days, the group protested by occupying the Florida Capitol in hopes to get the state to take a closer look at the controversial Stand Your Ground law.
Specifically, I do believe what happened at Trayvon Martin was not just an isolated incident. It was an incident that continues to happen every day in this country.
It was a story that got international attention and brought out entertainers like Mos Def and Harry Belafonte and civil rights icons like the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Now, I was the only journalist that was invited to spend the night during the protest to get a closer look at why the Dream Defenders were there. It was interesting to be able to become one of them, to see the things that they saw from, to be sleeping on a pallet and to want water or want food or want the things that they needed and to see why they were there. Now, Reverend Jackson actually hung out and spent time talking with each and every one of the participants. Then he took everyone on a journey as to why the movement was so important.
This even is part of and yet different from the Trayvon movement, because we've been struggling for a long time trying to get students' attention, even on a student's agenda.
Jesse Jackson took us to his first protest. He took us back to 1959, and he walked the entire group from 1959 to present day and linked the reason why this thing was important. So the fact that you could hold at rapt attention people from the age of 18 or 16 in some cases to 70 and just talk about the experience, it really was a moving moment. And you kind of wonder how many times is Jesse Jackson going to be able to do this in his career? So it was almost like a swan song for him. During their occupation of the governor's office, the Dream Defenders had other celebrities and a steady stream of students stopping by to take part in the protest and to show support. Eventually, the group was able to get the legislature to poll its members about repealing Stand Your Ground, but the measure didn't pass. The law remains one of Florida's most controversial, and the Dream Defenders remain a major newsmaker of 2013. Rahman Johnson, ABC News, Tallahassee. So just after the news at 6 today, some wonderful, wonderful young kids, the men of distinction from East Gadsden High School, stopped by the studio, completely a surprise. Abby was in on it, and they came to give me this plaque and wish me happy holidays. Those guys from East Gadsden, the men of distinction, took a tour of the studio. I am so appreciative of them for coming by. And, I almost, I'm a big waterworks, so I got full of tears. I almost cried, but I was appreciative. And if you look closely there, you'll notice that I don't have on any shoes. I have on my Speedo flip-flops.
I have to say, the reason why they came by and gave you the plaque is because you went to the school and you mentored these young men.
Yeah. I don't talk about it, but I talked to you about it, but it was just a great honor to spend time with them, and a lot of them had some great questions, not just about their careers, but about life. Some of them, I grew up in a single-parent household, so some of them didn't even have, fathers, and they said, hey, thanks for taking the time to come spend time with us. So I'm not going to get misty about it because it's touching me, but it was good to hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
Glad they came by.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, you're trying to get me, and I'm not going to let you do that.
I think I saw a tear. I think I saw one.
No more laughing. Now my button's gone. I'm about to cry. It's enough.
Time to go
Show's
to
done
bed.
for the night.
Thanks for joining us. News at 11.
We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks.